We're live because we are 1 minute late, so I didn't even say hello to everybody. We're just live. Are we live? I hope we're live. If not, we're recording at least. So, uh, Coach Jackie, hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Coach John Anthony, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And
Excellent.
yourself?
I'm doing good. It is definitely one of those weeks that has gotten all the way away from me. And on top of that, if you're a parent, you might understand this next piece next. They just wanted to sprinkle in 2 half days right there before they have off on Monday as well. So they wanted to say, busy week after the snow, end it with 2 half days, and then send you into a 3 day weekend. Boom. But hey, I love being a stay at home dad. I love doing things with my kids. So here we are. So I'm going to ask Miss Coach Jackie if she has any tips about astrology and well being.
Yes, I have some well being or wellness tips for us this week to give us a hand in feeling better and doing what's best for ourselves. What I titled it this week was Show Up for Yourself. I have Honor your unique voice and let go of self doubt. And just mainly with that, I think, how you talk about being busy and there's like a whole bunch of things to do. I think it is important to take time in those small moments to honor our achievements, to appreciate our achievements, and then to see what we can do next. And definitely use that to clear up space for what's next. But then also, again, appreciating where we're at in the moment and what we've done, either big achievements, small achievements, and to reward effort and not perfection.
I love that. And do you want to know why I love that? For many reasons. But one thing I'm going to say real quick because it's been a tool that has helped me tremendously, and I think it's super, super important, is when it comes to rewiring your thoughts and your brain, you really, really, really have to give your brain that food, if you will. You really have to say, no, today I did a good job, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
And like keep telling yourself to make sure that, you know, it becomes second nature.
The
So
best
sorry,
point
that
for
was my
me on
two
that.
cents.
No, you're good. No, I was going to say the best point for me on that is yes, the big things, but then also the little things. And
Yes,
to
I
not
think the little
strive for
things are the
absolute
best things.
perfection. But yeah, they are the best things. That's what I'm saying. We can't miss the
Yeah,
small things. But yeah, no, I totally agree.
yeah, no, and I'm just gonna add one more piece to that, and then I'm sure I'll let John Anthony talk. But when you say the small things, again, I just love like when you say small, I think to me, like I think that could be the feeling, like just the feeling. So, for example, I just spent about an hour and a half um, with our peers, some of our peers at the gym, just sparring and hitting mitts and things. And this morning, I was able to go do Pilates, and then we had a morning session as well. And so now here I am with you two beautiful people, but I'm tired and I'm hungry. But oh, how grateful I am to be tired from such a thing because I used to be tired from work that I despised.
Mm.
And so, thank you. I'm very happy to be here with you two people instead right now.
Yeah.
Glad to be of service to you.
So, John Anthony, I know I kept yapping over you. What do you think about Coach Jackie's points about being there for yourself? You got any tips or any thoughts?
I think it's always a good idea. I would just say, though, when you're rewiring your brain, please refrain from using WD-40.
Yes. Yes. Don't use any harsh chemicals. I'm very big on that too. Use kid gloves if necessary. So, I agree with John Anthony. No harsh chemicals or anything like that. Beautiful. So, all right. Thank you, Coach Jackie, for the astrology. Well, wait, actually, anything with the moon? It was like a beautiful moon the other
The
night.
moon, yeah, it was the full moon on the first, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I
Full
think it was
moon
in Leo.
in Leo.
Yeah,
Inspiring
that's my
emotional clarity and creative confidence was the theme.
yeah. The first and into the second. But that's that's my moon.
You're a
Oh,
My
Leo?
you were
moon,
saying that's your flow moon,
my
right? Like
moon
that's
is
your.
in Leo. My moon is. My
Mm.
sun is in Libra.
Ooh. You're also a Libra?
Yeah,
Ryan's a
Yeah.
Libra,
Oh wait,
and
wait.
my
You're
father is a Libra.
October
When is your
3rd.
birth? Third?
Sep- September 28th
Oh,
is mine.
September.
Oh wait, your dad and I have the same birthday.
Yeah, October 5th. All these Libras now. Wow.
Oh wait, and John Anthony, one more. Jackie, when's your sister's birthday?
July 20th.
When's your birthday?
July 20th.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was a
Yeah,
super preemie too.
and that's great. And my dad's birthday is October 4th, and
That's what it is.
my cousin in Florida was October 5th.
I remember there was a ton of birthdays around my birthday, and then I was very happy to share birthdays with other people that were existing. I know that that's a very, very broad statement. So, all right. So
Well,
listen, we're
you
gonna
can share
dive.
it with those that don't exist anymore too. It's
I do. We honor them. We honor them for sure. Okay, so tonight's topic, we're switching it up a little bit because I'm sure that we kind of forget what last week's topic was going to be, and so now here we are. John Anthony, I thought we'd do something very, very simple. We'll just take it from the top. I thought we would talk about recognizing the fear before the anger. So, before I let John Anthony run down the Master Yoda list about the fear before the anger and all of the tools that he has put together and that I've implemented in my life, I think sometimes it's very, very simple. If somebody cuts me off in traffic, we know that road rage is a very big thing, right? When somebody cuts you off in traffic, what are you afraid of losing or not getting? Well, I think that there's a variety of things, right? We see people, there's terrible things that take place across the country because of road rage, right? I think in some cases it's something as simple as you're just so overwhelmed with things that are going on in your life that you just can't let one more thing or person make you feel like you've lost some space, like you've lost some time or something. And I think that that's one of the reasons it comes about. Of course, it could be you're afraid of an accident or something like that, but what is the fear before the anger? And so, John Anthony, give it to them.
well, I would just want to add to that is when I'm looking for my fear, it's not about physical safety fear. It's about alone. It's about fear of losing something that I have or the fear of not getting something I desire. And if I'm able to recognize the fear and then do what I need to do to address it, especially if I'm giving that respect, understanding, acceptance, caring, appreciation, and trust from myself to myself, then I'm going to be able to alleviate my fears. But if I don't recognize it, then it's more likely that I'm going to react to it. And then that's when I'm going to be vulnerable to reacting from the amygdala part of the brain, which is fight, flee, or freeze. And when I fire from that part of the brain, the way our brains are wired, it's there. We can't access the thinking part, the prefrontal cortex, or the memory part, the hippocampus. So that's where the breathing comes in, and the deep breathing, so that you can expand your diaphragm and push against your vagus nerve that goes down your back and around your side walls. And then we can disengage from our amygdala and then be able to access the thinking and memory part of our brain to address our fears as we attempt to alleviate it. So
Can I
thank
ask
you.
you a question on that piece? Oh, that's all you got to
Yes.
say? For some reason, I
Well,
thought
I'm
there was
willing
more
to
to
stop there. I was willing to let you guys be a part of
it.
it. Let you can be on this podcast too.
I thank you for giving me just a little bit of space, but I know that I'm somebody who's like I don't think Jackie's talked in like 10 minutes. So just real quick, so everything that you just said, I often forget. It's weird because I'm at this point with your tools after being with you for 20 years and working on things for myself where I can feel myself right before I get angry, and so I just go like what is going on right now? What has brought me to this point where I feel like I might just lose my mind in the next 25 milliseconds, right? And so when you go into that explanation that you just did, I often forget that sometimes the anger, the emotions, the physicality, the verbal abuse, whatever, I sometimes forget that there may be a lingering issue that somebody is not even aware is going on, if that makes sense. So I'm just that way. That's just the way I am. I've just always been that way. I'm not going to let anybody disrespect me. I'm not going to let anybody disrespect me. Oh, I lost Coach Jackie real quick. And
I
so
can skip
anyway,
it.
I'm not gonna let anybody disrespect me. But what do you, like you said, what are you afraid of losing or not getting? And I think sometimes, you got to really sit with that for a second and figure out why
Right,
you're getting so upset.
right. And how I'm getting so upset.
Right. And it could be
How?
deep. That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
forget that it could be something that we have not ever even thought about before.
right, right. But what I find, and then I'll let Jackie, is if I sit with myself, it will come to my thinking if I allow it, as long as I'm not being in a traumatic state. So, so go ahead, Jackie. Share
Um,
your input about what we shared.
my input, well, when I think about road rage, every time I think about somebody getting angry and getting road rage, I don't necessarily assume that they get angry because, like, oh, I thought you were going to make me get into an accident. I don't know why I always imagine these people getting angry because maybe for a millisecond in traffic, somebody made them feel like they were out of control, or made them feel silly, or made them feel small, or they didn't get to go first. Then comes the road rage for me to get angry to show you I'm the bigger and I'm the badder driver, and I'm going to get angry so I can dominate you to get back into control of the situation. That's where I've had experience, not me having the road rage, but witnessing other people get road rage, people that
Right.
I've known. Because and even again, like other people that I've known, and anger that I've experienced that comes after the fear, it's always in the sense of like, I need to protect myself. Oh, kitty. I need to protect myself, or what I think what I could be losing in the moment is importance, or again, like control of a situation. And
Yeah.
then another thing that I wanted to add on the end there, back on the ends of what you guys were saying, is that what I've learned is that in every situation, we are always reliving something else that we have experienced earlier in life. So if I am feeling triggered or out of control, or getting a very big emotional response to a situation that's happening in modern time, or present time is a better word, it's because I am reliving something that I've experienced childhood. I am back in X place,
Yeah.
then trigger anger response, or flee, freeze, or fight.
It can also be a positive experience that I'm reminded of,
Mm-hmm.
because remember, our brains are predicting machines. They're wired to make predictions based on past experiences, and that's been validated by Lisa Feldman Barrett's research up in Boston. And so when I see somebody, and I have past experiences that are positive, then I can be having positive predictions like, oh, I'm going to have fun, or oh, this is going to be good, and so it's not just our wounds that contribute to our predictions.
How about this? Let's shift it a little bit just to make things interesting. Road rage. We got it. That can be a tough one, right? Sometimes it's hard for people to accept that they won't let somebody merge because somebody didn't let them in line in third grade in the lunchroom. That's kind of how I look at road rage at this point in my life. No, seriously, right? Road
No,
rage is one of the
that is kind of accurate what you just
yeah,
Yeah,
said. Yes.
it's
yeah,
it's one of the
yeah.
most annoying things
Or you're
ever
going
to
to
me at
make me
this point in my
late.
life.
You're going to make me late because you're getting in front of me.
I may not
No,
get
that's what
lunch.
no, but
I
I
won't get the
said
last
that.
cookie.
I said that. Remember, I said that the other day. I said that I somebody like I was late to getting the kids to school, and then and then the police officer was just doing their job and needed to get rid of some congestion, and then just let the whole line go while I was already behind. But I was behind, right? This officer's just doing the job like they always do. These other people were on time today. They have dropped off their kids. They're entitled to get to work in a safe manner. So, yes, nobody's making you late. You are making yourself late. Leave it enough time. Okay, so anyway, we're shifting. We're shifting real quick. So the fear before the anger. So let's shift it from road rage to how about John Anthony? You and I may have dealt with something like this recently. How about when it's something that the general population has a fear of, and they know that they would like to not have that fear, but they are not ready to accept that they need to do the work to face the fear. That's a tough one.
Well, I think what you're alluding to is when we have a situation that we are frightened about, our tendency is to want to stop, change, or control the other person instead of seeing what is it that's going on for me that I'm afraid of losing or not getting something, and what do I need to do for myself emotionally with the are you a cat or whatever I need to do to heal that. And very few people in doing this work, it's so easy for all of us to see what somebody else is doing that scares me or that I don't like, and it scares me that I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do. I thought that you two got knocked off, but I see you just made me made me scare the
Sorry.
people away with my picture. So anyway, yeah, so now I lost my train of thought. If I can get back here, what scares me, and so I'm trying to control everybody else, which is going to be exhausting because I can't make other people do what I want them to do, but I certainly can make me do what I want me to. And so when I learn to respond by focusing on what I need to do to be safe, then I don't have to try to make other people change.
John Anthony, do you know
Yes,
what's
sir.
very interesting to me? Recently, I was working with a group of people on the topic that we're talking about recognizing that we have a fear about something, and then telling ourselves that we would like to feel better, but at the same time saying that we're not willing to do the work. I was a little surprised to find that some grown adults um, do not believe that they should be accountable for their emotions because something else is upsetting them. That
Yeah.
was a tough
Really
one for me.
controlling you.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, everybody here, and this is, I'm just gonna say it in terms that it makes maybe everybody think or make sense. I'm just gonna be blunt. Everybody here looks like they are able. That I was looking at in this particular situation looks like they're able to hold down a job or their regular life. That they are able to lead people in whatever setting that they are in. That they are able to really be a productive individual in their piece of the world wherever they are. And I got to be honest with you, all that being said, I am just so surprised that some people do not feel that they are responsible for their emotions. I'm really having some trouble grasping it. And I'm sure you've worked with many people over the years that either they weren't believers of it at first and maybe they were later. But I mean, how do you think about dealing with that?
Well, Jackie, what do you think about this? 'Cause I want to include you.
Yeah.
Include
And
me.
so, have you run into anything like that where you get surprised that people aren't willing to do the work?
Yeah, I would I would say, oh, like I'm not surprised, I'm just disappointed kind of thing. Um, because it's like, yeah, I feel like I encounter that kind of person frequently where they take no responsibility emotionally for themselves and just kind of let it out onto other people. And because I understand like doing work for yourself and being able, no, not being able, but to do that kind of work, to look inward and to reflect and to maybe take a step back is a very hard thing to do. It's a lot of hard work. It can take a really long time. And I think a lot of people don't want to do that and they want to kind of take this easy way out. And as you said, John Anthony, what can I do? I can control other people when I don't want to control myself and
Yeah,
therefore
or I
hurting
don't think
themselves and
I don't.
everybody else around them.
Yeah, or I think I can't. I don't know how to control myself. I think,
That too. That too.
because I'm so used to controlling others to make me feel better. I mean, when we're children, that's how we were raised. I'm hungry, I cry, I get fed. You know,
Mhm.
I want something, I don't get it, I have a temper tantrum.
And
You
then
know,
mommy or daddy will give it to me. And then
yeah,
once you learn, you don't learn those self-soothing techniques, and
right,
that it's going to
and
be okay.
yeah, yeah, delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification. Yes.
It's immediate. Shut that crying baby up. Here.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
we're tired. And we're exhausted. But that's
Yeah.
so, and that's good for children. Okay, but then that child can grow up thinking everything's got to come from outside of me, and not realizing that it's good when I get things outside of me from other people. That's the "Are you a cat" gravy. But where the real magic is in the "Are you a cat" meat and potatoes that I give to myself, where I respect myself and I give understanding to myself by listening to myself. And
Hmm.
I accept myself just as I am, not as soon as I gain 5 pounds or lose 5 pounds, not as soon as I get that goal accomplished, but to
Hmm.
accept myself right now with all my
Hmm.
wounds and and challenges. So
I just was looking at a study a little while ago that said what can lead to a very successful adult is their ability for delayed gratification. I'm sure
Right.
everybody's heard that the study of that test where they sit the children in the room and they give them one piece of candy and they say, if you wait, don't eat this now. I'm going to leave. And if you wait, when I come back, you can have two pieces of candy. And the person running the experiment would leave the room. Some of the children couldn't wait. They didn't have that control, ate that first candy. But some children waited. And when the person came back, they got two candies. And it showed that the children who had waited for the second candy did better in school growing up and held better jobs and went into successful careers as people for having that ability to wait for delayed gratification.
yeah, yeah. My wife is a big proponent of delayed gratification because she grew up with it. She grew up poor, and so
Mm-hmm.
she was always waiting for something. And she believed, and I agree with her, that it made her stronger because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And she has tried to instill that my in our kids. And but sometimes I say, well, okay, so we delayed it, but does it have to be delayed that long?
But sometimes I do think like we have to exercise like this patience, even if like, okay, we talk about the children who had one piece of candy and then got two pieces of candy, or the children who just ate it right away. But then how many times have I been in a restaurant and maybe the restaurant is very busy? Like if I'm sitting in this restaurant, like I made the choice to come out. I made the choice to eat here. I knew it was busy. Like I know my food's gonna come. Like I've kind of put myself in this situation. I can only control myself. But how many times do you see somebody at the next table yelling at their waitress?
Yeah, that's
Because
something that like I used to be that person, and I used to say something at some point, and I used to say it in a really nice manner and feel that I was really fair about the situation. And now I'm at this point in life where I'm like, if I'm here, then I do not have anywhere to be.
I chose to be here. I chose to be
I
at
chose to be
Applebee's.
here,
I
and
don't
I'll be
have to be at
fine.
Applebee's. Exactly. Exactly.
See, you said the
You say
key
something,
word,
don't you, Johnny
though.
Anthony? You
What
asked where your
keyword?
food is at, don't you?
You said the key word. You're taking responsibility that I chose to be here.
Yes.
A
Yes.
lot of times people think, I had to be here, or,
I had to
you know,
eat, or I would have
yeah.
been,
You
I
you
would have
could eat.
behaved a certain way.
I'm
Like
sure
that.
all our moms said at one point we have food at home. I'm sure
Yeah.
we've heard that once in our life. You have food at home.
M-
No,
More
well,
than
I
one
didn't.
point.
I didn't, but that's a completely separate episode about marriage and inheriting a man child. Okay, but anyway, going back to what we're talking about delayed gratification and taking responsibility. I think it really is just that because we like to believe that everybody is adults and we all are, but we also are all human and we all believe different things and we want cooler heads to prevail. But yes, there's some people that believe that simply because this place is a restaurant that is open for business, that the standard is that a time should be met for the food to come out and everything should go according to plan. And that is the expectation for everybody involved, I would imagine. But at some point, right, you have to take your eyes and your ears and your nose and your senses and say, and perhaps your knowledge as well, and be like, that is definitely not the place I need to go to today because I need to be in and out. you've taken
Or I'm just really
responsibility and
hungry.
right.
And I
I
want
can
to eat
just go
now.
hungry. Like people think that they just need to eat and everybody's responsible for them eating. I'm sorry, it's not the
Yeah.
case.
And there's always
Yeah.
nice ways to do things too, without getting to the anger or being rude. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Like, do you just know how much longer it's gonna be?
Yeah, be
Fine,
nice about
that's
it.
it. Fine. And then you know what? If I always said, like, coming from the service industry and still kind of being like a service industry, like working at a
Nerd.
gym. Yeah, I'm, I'm helping people and clients and members like all the time. If you are nice to me, I will give you free stuff. I don't care. Here you go. I'll put you first. But the second it's like rude, you're waiting.
Oh,
Like,
I tell people that yeah, so back when I used to get my discount from Marriott, the rule was if I gave anybody a discount, they could not make a scene. I don't care what happened. I don't care what happened. My sister did not plan the flight accordingly and landed after the hours that the hotel would hold the room.
oh
So
no.
they gave it to somebody else. She got there at like 12 o'clock in the morning and they told her that and she told me that she just went like this and turned around and went to go to a completely different hotel for the rest of the night. And I just remember being like, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because it was people used to get terminated for that. Like, but not only that, the game used to be like people would remember. They'd be like, "Oh, if they're ever
you,
at my hotel, you're exactly.
you.
If you're ever at my hotel, and you, and
Yeah, I
then
don't
you'd
know
be like,
how
all
to
right, we're not going to go
share
that
my.
far."
Yeah. Well, you reminded me for the younger people out there who may not be baseball fans, there was a famous Yankee catcher named Yogi Berra who was
Hey,
back in the late 40s and 50s and into the 60s, I think, before he retired. But he was known for his statements, and he would say things like, "Yeah, nobody goes there anymore because it's too crowded."
that's what I'm saying though. You take the data, like
Yeah, exactly.
sometimes there's a place with something that you really want, and you look at your watch and you're like, no, I know their service. They're not quick in there. I cannot go there today.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Those
But
restaurants in
that's
mine,
being
they go
mindful.
here.
See that?
Terrible.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
Jackie.
mindful, not data,
Oh,
mindful. I like that.
oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry. I screwed up the whole process now. I've disrespected everyone. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jackie.
No, I was just making a joke saying like I have like two or three restaurants in mind where like I like the food, but I know if I go there, I'm not getting good service. So it's like, how much time?
Yes. And then that's that one place where you're like, every time I try to give them a chance. And they screw up something. They forget something. The food is late. And you're like, I really, really try to support this place. I really try. And then you let a couple months go by, and you're like, all right,
Maybe
it's
they're
Sunday
better.
afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon. It's 2 p.m. The rush is over. There's no way anything can go wrong. I had it. I had it. They forgot my mozzarella sticks, and you just start snapping out.
Oh my God, if they forgot my mozzarella sticks, I would be breaking down doors.
You gotta take responsibility. You gotta take responsibility. You know they forget things.
I know. Yeah, but mozzarella sticks. Ooh.
Okay, so now let's summarize it again because I was thinking about this all day. Ways to summarize what are we afraid of losing or not getting? Well, that's the real way to not get upset about takeout, right? Because seriously, if you order from a place all the time and they hit the mark 99% of the time, are you going to be mad about the one time that they forget something? Why would you waste your energy? Why would you drive all the way back there? Why would you call and ask for a discount? Why? They hit the mark every other time.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
so now, how do you flip that? What if the restaurant is not always on point? Well,
Don't go there.
did you read the reviews? Like you're still not owed. That's the way I said. But I'm just saying that's how I try to keep my points at my
You know
peace
what?
at this point in my life. Is I'm like it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, Ryan, you make a good point. See, if I have past experiences that are successful, and then I have an experience that's not, I'm still going to have all those past predictions from past experiences. That there can be success here. It just wasn't this time.
Yeah.
But if it's my first time there, and they aren't successful, then it's like, well, I'll never go there again. You know.
Yeah, because it's
Right.
And
100% failure at that point.
the story I used to share, or the analogy is, if I was if I played with dogs all my life and I love dogs and I just, just love dogs, but then I met a dog that bit me. Well, you know, it's going to be like, well, okay, it's going to make me leery of dogs for a bit, but I've got all those other memories of dogs being great and fun and trustworthy. And so I'm going to, have the potential of overlooking that. But if I get bit by a dog early in my life, I could be traumatized by dogs the rest of my life because I had that one experience. My brain saying, "Are you kidding? That four-legged animal just bit you. Last week you're going to go to talk to another dog." And then it's like, so I just avoid dogs. I don't get bit anymore, but I also don't get to enjoy the gift that dogs can give us.
Yeah. No, I am a big believer in facing fears head on when you kind of have no choice. I don't know. I've just always felt that it's just better to rip the Band-Aid off. And you know what it is also, and I think that this is something that can be used in healing as well. I also just like I get tired of feeling fearful. I get tired of being scared. I get tired of being exhausted. And I'm like, "Ugh, I am not living like this." Like I'm actually at the point where I'm like, I am annoyed. I am living like this. I don't know. I just something goes off in my head where I'm like, this is draining me, and I just don't want to. But then the work starts to get hard. Anyway,
Yeah.
Well,
um,
that's when I'm reacting. Most of the time, I'm reacting because things have built up, and then I wasn't tending to them, and so then that's it. I've had it, as opposed to seeing, seeing that fear coming towards me, and then being able to say, okay, well, I can go this way, I can go that way, this way, that way. But if I'm not paying attention, and all of a sudden that fear is there, right in front of me, then I just want to fight it, or flee, or
Mhm.
freeze, and hope that it doesn't overwhelm me.
Mhm.
you know what I was thinking about right there? Something that could get missed. If you're walking with your significant other
Mhm.
and and you see a lion up ahead, I'm thinking to myself, at that very moment, I'm not even scared yet. I am just like confused. Like,
Is that
but I
really a
say
lion?
right, but I say this because I'm not scared yet, and so I'm not angry. I'm just like, is that is that a lion? You know what I mean? Like, so what I'm saying is that, of course, once I put two together, and if that lion starts coming at me, now the fear is that I'm going to be mauled to death. Well, my point is that that's what gets missed sometimes. Is it's like, oh wait, that's a lion, but do I need to be afraid? Or wait a second, is that actually a lion?
How
Right?
many lions have you been bitten by, I guess, in the past?
But that's something I always ask people when people are like, yeah, but it could, and then I go, and
Or
how many
watching them
times has
on
it happened?
TV. Maybe I saw it on TV or in the movies.
Ooh, good one. You're scared of
Mm,
lions because you've seen it on when you're doom scrolling on your phone. So now
well, I
you're
was
afraid
just
of
about to
lions.
say. I was just about to say, and still, I'm not gonna bite. And that's not a lion joke, but here's why. I'm not gonna bite because I've watched enough documentaries to know that like lions don't just kill for no reason.
So that's
So now I have data. I have
exposure. Yeah,
data.
you
Right.
have that. You're not just looking at it, as I said, through like the
Yeah.
doom scroll of how
Yeah.
it's being portrayed, how lions are seen on TikTok right now. You know what I mean?
Right. No, exactly. And somebody could do that. Like somebody could make a reel that says 10 million people died by lions or were killed by lions simply for staring at them this year alone. Okay, well now I know not to stare at lions.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever I'm in line, I always try not to stare at everybody.
Ah, okay. So, but real quick, right? Just let's use that because I keep wanting to use points to help simplify the mindset of recognizing the fear before the anger. So again, in this instance, we understand the lion. We're asking ourselves, is that really a lion? I'm not angry yet. I'm not scared because there's no reason to be. But again, if that lion starts charging at me, now I'm scared, angry, everything because I do not want to get eaten by a lion today. That's the
And
reason.
this
I
in
recognized it.
this situation just seems like a fear situation. So
It is.
where does the anger come in when this lion How does this line make you angry? I guess is what I'm trying
When
to.
you're roaring back at it as you're trying to survive, it's like, "Ah!"
I'm trying to
See,
finish the picture here.
see, and that's
I
that's that's what our anger is for, to control something else,
I agree with
you know,
that.
it's like a bark, or a roar, because we're trying to scare that other animal away from us so that we don't get eaten or pestered.
I totally agree that that stuff is just like built in our DNA, innate behavior, that like like a reaction, a
Mm.
survival instinct.
Well, it is. That's why it's so important to be mindful, because otherwise it will take over me instead of letting me use it when I need it and not be using it all the time.
Plot
So how?
twist.
Yes.
Sorry, because real quick, because I was talking to one of our peers today, and I had this same discussion, kind of, John Anthony. They use the GPS to get to work every single day.
Oh, it's just anxiety.
Right. And they keep, and then I'm telling them you don't
I
need it.
wonder who it
And then
is
they are you do you wonder who it is,
because
right?
I
Of
see it
course.
when I'm with them.
But they kept saying to me, I kept saying you don't need that. And they kept saying, but what if? But what if? And so like you just said, and I was like, and how many times has that happened to you? Thank God in these days that you have been in the amount of days you've been on this earth, right? Does it happen? Yes. Could it? Maybe. But like John Anthony and Jackie told me once, right? What was it? You don't want to live the same thing twice.
Don't suffer twice.
Yeah.
Well, in this situation, if this person is
Manage their
afraid.
time better.
No, 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 not managing their time better, because I'm assuming that they are thinking, okay, what if there's going to be traffic and this is going to reroute me, or if there's an accident, how can I know that I'm going to do that? Well, I know the way I go to work. You know, 9 out of 10 times it's fine. But to have that confidence and to, I can only worry about what I'm going to worry about now. And right now I have nothing to worry about. And then if I come up to traffic or if there is an accident, if I am seeing that, then okay, turn on the GPS. Let's see if this takes me a different way. That's what I would do.
Well, I think
I
that's a good point.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I had a thought that I was going to say that I gave them back. So, um, when I worked in New York City, when I worked at EWR, both places, if I didn't have, or if I knew I wouldn't have 15 minutes of a buffer when I got there. Oh, sorry, my love light went out.
Darkness.
Um, if I didn't have, if I knew I wouldn't have that 15 minutes, if I knew I was rolling the dice, I did not feel good. I just did not feel good. So after talking to this person, it was that they simply so being on time was a big adjustment in their life. They were late to everything, and so now we're on time. But I'm a big believer that if you really make it a habit to give yourself an extra 10 or 15 minutes, you will not need to check the GPS
And I
every
never
single
do.
day. Every day. You live four
Yeah.
seconds away from your house. I don't give you a pass.
No, and
I'm
I
sorry.
get there right on time. That's the thing. If I gave myself a 10-minute buffer, I'd be using that 10 minutes to do something else here.
No, but be there. Be in the parking lot is what I'm saying. Take away that stress from yourself.
I tell myself this, but it's not. Well, no, I am a little stressed, but it's not like I tell myself
Yeah.
this every night. Okay, I'll get up earlier, and so I can have 10, 15 more minutes, and then like no.
John Anthony, how are you with your time? I'm so curious.
Well, um, you're talking to just in time John Anthony.
Okay.
And I may not be there on time every time, but I get there just in time. Like
Every time.
you may have been late too, but I got there just before you
You know what?
because I got there just in time.
I like
But
that for me, actually.
I play a game with myself when I go to pick up my daughter at in the sixth grade, and so the procedure is, you go there, you get in a parking space, down the street, and then when the time comes and the clock turns to 3:37, then I can leave that parking space,
I
and
do
if
this
I
too.
drive slowly and I go up, then I see my daughter walking down, and then down the sidewalk, and so then I stop, and then she gets in, and then we go. But as Jackie said, sometimes I want to spend my time doing other things. So I wait until I I I I have a intuitive sense of knowing I got to go now. This
Yeah.
is I can't fool around. I'm sorry, I got to go. So I try to trust that and cultivate that, and so it's like when I can get there, and then but I like to get there like 5 or 7 minutes ahead of time. But I'll leave just cutting it close, and if I catch a light twice, I could be in trouble, but it's just it's kind of exciting to be able to leave as late as I can and still get there in
That's
time.
me. That's me. Man, I better hope I don't catch this light.
Y'all are playing with fire. Oh my god! And
Yes,
listen,
it
It's
is.
fun.
It
It's
is.
fun.
listen.
Yeah,
Hold on. Let me be clear, everybody.
it's
I
exciting. It's
I got
exciting.
documented for being late. I was late here. I'm late every night. These guys are like, "Hey, are we still podcasting?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." So I don't even know why I'm acting or giving any sort of lecture about time. To the gym, I'm usually on time or like right there. Like John Anthony
Well,
just said,
usually
I'm
on
just in
time.
time, Ryan. But I do play the game with school pickup. Sometimes I'm late, but like we have an understanding.
I'm very, very rarely late. I have to
I
say, I say with pride,
You
when it
should
comes
say it
to
with
picking
pride.
it up. My daughter, especially the youngest one, is in the sixth grade. Because I want her to know that I'm going to be there and she can count on me. But at the same time, I don't want to. I used to go there, and I used to go a half hour before they got out of school
That's way
because
too
I was
much.
trying to get a parking space that was right there near where when she came out. And if I didn't get there sooner, all these other people would take up the space, and then I'd be way down the line. And so originally, I was parking my car, getting out of my car, walking up to where she comes out, walking back to my car, and then leaving. But now it's like I go there, I sit in my car, I wait, I go up, I don't have to get out. She comes in, I don't have to deal with the rain, the cold, and it's fun to succeed doing that. When I'm successful, it's like yes,
Is that what it is? You want to
No,
be
it is like
success.
that.
You put yourself on edge on purpose subconsciously, so then you're successful.
No, 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 it's not going to work for you
it's
like
not
that.
the edge. It's
Not going to work for
well,
you like
see,
that.
it is the edge, but for me, it doesn't feel like an edge. See,
Jackie will get distracted. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
for me, when I'm when I procrastinate things, and I get it done in time.
Me. I
And
need that
I am
pressure.
very comfortable with the fear of you only have 1 hour and you better get this project done,
Me in school having to write
because then
papers
I
the
get
night before.
focused. I get focused, and
Yes.
then I get it done because I had this sense of how long I was going to need, and I did it and I got it. Whereas, other people, oh, that's due on Friday. I'm going to get it done on Monday. Well, when I started on Monday, then I kind of get distracted, and then I'm doing it Tuesday, and then I get distracted. I'm doing Wednesday, and I'm doing it Thursday, and then I'm doing it Friday too. And so it's like, why use all that time for that when I can just do it on Friday and be done?
Sometimes I pressure myself. I'm like, I at least got to look at it a little bit, and then come
Right.
back later.
Yeah, because your brain is working. Okay, it's gonna. Oh, you better do this. It's gonna take that long. Okay, yeah, you're good. You still get. You can stay here a little longer and enjoy what you're doing here. Yeah,
I
I
got
do
five
that
more
too, Jackie.
minutes. Oh, that's so
Here,
funny.
here's the. I can tell you right now. I can tell by talking with both of you. That's great. I'm sure that's how you both are during the day. But if we were on a road trip, this would be me at the car waiting for you two.
I'd be at the
Like, cause
car.
no, you would like get stuck at like the candy store real quick. You just wanted to see like
No,
if they
no, but
had.
here's the thing, because I have the
No,
hyper focus where if I'm going on the
see,
road trip, I have the hyper focus where I'm like, I can't wait to go pick out my candy. I'd have the candy. I'd have that ready. I'd be
yeah,
on time.
yeah. See, and for me, when you tell me to be there at 4, I'm going to be there at 4. It might be 3:59 and a half, but I'm going to be there at 4.
Latest
See,
4:02. Latest.
All right. Well, so listen, everybody here is pretty accurate with time. I am very proud of everybody. So I'm gonna turn the dial and switch gears real quick, but I'm gonna keep it in the realm of recognizing the fear before the anger. So, John Anthony, I use your tools a lot in my daily life. Thank you, and
Me
we
too.
also Jackie too. We also utilize them in the gym in many ways also because one thing I found is that your tools can help people realize why they might be afraid of combat sports because a lot of people want to learn martial arts, but sometimes there's things like using the focus mitts where somebody punches and kicks the things you're holding or the actual contact itself. And then I found that if you ask people what's going on and you really allow them to sit with it, and sometimes you sit with them, sometimes it's not so much the fear of getting hit. Sometimes it's people just have never been hit, and so they don't know what to expect. And so it's not the fear of being hurt. They feel safe in this controlled environment where everyone's taking care of one another, but they just have never been hit. Or flip the card. Some people have had experiences where they were physically abused or something of that nature, and they're looking to overcome it. And so uh, my belief is that everybody can learn how to be effective as martial artists, that they can learn how to overcome perhaps past trauma or phobias that they're looking to get rid of that will give them confidence in everything else. But it's really just recognizing what the fear is. And perhaps not necessarily before the anger. I think your tools actually also work to help us realize what the fear may be itself. What do you think, Coach Jackie? You've lived by them.
I do. Yes, I have lived by them. One thing you said where it's like they never been hit, they don't know what to expect. I think they do know what to expect. I think they expect to get hurt or for it to hurt
Or they
because
think it
that's
will.
or they think it will because again that's what you see and that's what you're told even though you haven't experienced it yourself and that can be scary. But to you know, I don't want to say good pain, bad pain, but it's kind of like you can have control like in that moment. And it's like, see, it's just like a feeling. It's like, yeah, it kind of hurts, but like you're okay. Like you can have that control and calm. It's like a very crazy moment in space where like we talk about the storm, but I think there is definitely like calm within the storm. And then just going back to what you were saying in the beginning about how it just comes out, whether you're doing, drills or mitts and things, you get like your anxieties and traumas and hesitations are always going to come out 100%. And the more you try to hide them, the more difficult it is. It becomes more of an uphill battle. And in order to get over those things, you have to face them. You can't suppress them or just like pretend it's okay. You have to get through it. And it's a very crazy roller coaster. But roller coasters are fun. I'm afraid of roller coasters. So that's a bad example for me.
Do you use it, John Anthony? Do you use your own tools to recognize what you're afraid of sometimes? If
I
you're
don't
afraid
use
of
those
something,
tools. What are you talking about? That's not.
They're
you
food.
just put your name on it and you throw it
Yes,
out there.
I, that's, that's why I started doing this work to begin with, you know, in as far as, counseling, because when I was in my last year in engineering, I was challenged by this freshman to join a human relations group. And after the whole year of, 2 semesters of going there, I said, wow, I'm coming here every week and I'm growing and I'm learning. This guy's coming here every week and he's growing and he's learning too. But he's getting paid to be here. Wow, that's the job that I want, to get paid to do this stuff that I want to do anyway. And so then that's when I graduated in engineering, and then I immediately applied to graduate school. And I had a long, arduous challenge with that because I was required to go to 2 years in grad school to qualify. And because I was an engineer, not, you know, I had no credits in the College of Education, but that it didn't work out for me there. I was at the University of Maryland, so I left, and then eventually I found the University of South Florida years later that had a Gestalt approach where you do things in the moment, and I was able to get my degree, and But that's why I became a counselor, because this is fun, learning about myself and helping other people learn about themselves.
So much fun
I
to learn about yourself.
No, I was actually I'm blown away because, John Anthony and you and I were here and we worked on many things like this in the past, and we're looking forward to working on many things together in the future. But I can honestly say that that's the best part of my job and what we're doing here at Flow State is just helping. When I see somebody do something that they really thought they wouldn't be able to do, like that's it.
Mm.
Like I'm having fun, helping them get there, watching them realize things, watching them go, and see them, see themselves do or see them do things that they didn't think they'd be able to do. That's fun to me.
Yeah.
That pays you back more than anything. But like you said, there's people that really need the guidance sometimes, the patience, the time. I mean, that's one thing that you and I have talked about for years, and we're talking about the other day is that, we can say it's recognizing what the fear is before the anger, but sometimes it's just their mind's not there yet because they just haven't trained it yet. They haven't started your tools. They haven't really started doing the reps with their mind and their emotions. So they go, I'll use myself as the example just to summarize. John Anthony and I, a couple years ago, he said, I've heard you talk about your mom, I've heard you talk about your dad, I've heard you talk about this and that, but I never heard you talk about being adopted. And even then, I was like, oh, that's not it. That's not it at all. Come
Nothing's
to
ever done.
find, right? I was certain, I was certain that I was okay with it, but I wasn't. And so my point is that, um, going back to what we were talking about the other day and over the years, this just doesn't happen overnight. It's not one session, it's not one week, it's not a month. Sometimes you really got to do the work and start digging and I always thought, John Anthony, working in groups, uh, with you and your groups in particular was very beneficial because, to put it lightly, you find out a lot of people are willing to spill their guts to help other people.
Yeah. To share. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've run into an interesting phenomenon doing this work for all these years, and that is, as you know, we have a chart, on the walls, and it has, the red "Are you the pain hurt" column, you know, of sadness, disappointment, shame, embarrassment, concern, and fear. And so I'll ask someone in the group, so what are you feeling up there? And they look up and they go, well, I definitely am not feeling shame, you know.
Are you
And then they go on to
sure?
Sure of
try to
it.
talk about something else. And it's uncanny, but when they say they're not, as I get them to look, come to find out, they actually are
Yep.
feeling shame. They're just not wanting to admit it to themselves and or to others, or sadness, whatever it is, or sometimes fear. I wasn't afraid. You weren't afraid? No. Were you angry? Yeah, I was angry. I was good and angry. Well, then I'm here to tell you that you were frightened also. No, I wasn't. Well, and then as we work, they go, oh, wow, you mean the fear of losing something or the fear of not getting something. I thought were talking about physical safety fear. Like I'll take on anybody. I
Mm.
ain't afraid of nothing.
You
So,
might be afraid of
yeah,
something.
it's uncanny though. It's interesting.
That is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. No, and it takes a second to get there, and
Or two. A
or
second or two.
two. Or you can see John Anthony when you're 19 and not really figure it out until you're 35. That might happen too. Um, but as we head towards the end of this particular episode, I think, or know rather, that this is going to be something that we come back to time and time again because we're going to get our reps in with it. It's what John Anthony teaches. It's what he has built a lot of things on, figuring out what the fear is before the anger, because we're here to tell you that if you are angry about something, you are afraid of losing or not getting something, and that is just the way it is. And if you care to challenge that, well, John Anthony, where can they reach you?
Well, they can reach me at supportivealliance.net, and or they can reach me at contact@supportivealliance.net, or they can reach me at 215 750-0323.
That is perfect. And if you are looking to kind of work with John Anthony, but perhaps work with Coach Jackie and I, and use some of these tools that John Anthony has been teaching and is practicing still to this day, come in and join us at Flow State Martial Arts in Williamstown, New Jersey. We do a lot of things on our Instagram. We keep very busy there, so give us a follow. And Coach Jackie, how are you feeling? What do you got going on? Do you have any fear before the ending?
Before the ending. Not in the moment. I don't feel any anger right now. I'm good.
Do you know
fear.
why? Because you're in
Why?
the moment.
So I'm in the moment.
Mic drop.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah. So it's 8:57. We're getting to the end, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there, I think. So, recognizing the fear before the anger, I have had a great time, kind of laying down the foundation for a lot of things that will come in the future with the three of us and all of our peers. And so, to everybody, I think we're going to leave it there. You have a great week. If you haven't already, have a great Friday. John Anthony, it was great talking with you, and I would look forward to doing it again in 2 weeks.
Okay. And I want to thank you for creating the space here for Jackie and I to be a part of it. And this was fun. It was fun to be here for me tonight. And hopefully it was also informative. But it was fun. So I'm just happy to laugh.
I had a great time as well. How about you, Coach Jackie?
I had a very good time. This makes me miss streaming. Streaming soft launch. Maybe I'll stream Resident Evil. I'll put my Twitch link.
She'll start dropping all that info next week after astrology and
So,
things.
so what I want to say is, if there's anybody out there who has children, and they take you from, mall to mall to mall, and you feel like you're being mauled to death, stop, find your fear, and then replace it with "Are you a cat?"
I agree with John Anthony. I think the only challenge these days is going to be finding a mall that's still operating. But if you find that you're about to be mauled to death, you definitely got to take
Yes.
John Anthony's
Yes.
advice.
Better that kind of mauling than with a lion.
Then with a lion. All right, everybody. I had a blast. We will see you all next time. Take care.
Me too.